Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan. I'm the producer of the show. Tonight's title, Incomparably Unique. Got some truly great things to say about that. Now, first, though, just a quick piece of housekeeping for anyone who's out there joining us for the very first time. Be sure to say something in the chat so I know you're here. And in fact, for anyone who's not here for the first time, still be sure to say something in the chat so I know you're here, and I'll put you in line for a reading. And then going forward from so the first reading, of course, is always free. Going forward after that, it's $10 per reading, or you can pay $100 and cover the entire month, which I feel like is a pretty sweet deal since we run the show 3 times per week. That's Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, normally at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Now, just a quick thought before I turn it over to Christopher. And really, this is more of just a reminder to each and every one of you out there how unbelievably precious and special you all are. And I can say this from experience, it's not always obvious to ourselves that that's the case. But let me assure you, it is. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Wow, great introduction. Thank you so much. That was really awesome, Kenan. So I light this incense to assist you in claiming your uniqueness, your incomparable uniqueness. So, great blessings to you. Step up, claim it. And I'm going to go right into the group card tonight. So, this deck is from Zen philosophy. And it has the giant oak tree next to a stick of bamboo. So I go into the ludicrous first. How ludicrous it would be if the bamboo compared itself to this giant oak. And you know, the oak tree is bigger. It's much stronger. It can be much taller. It has beautiful leaves. It turns colors in the fall. It's just breathtaking. But then the oak tree could be jealous of the bamboo because of its incredible agility or how useful it is. We know that nature doesn't do that. Then why do humans do that? Because there's always this struggle, this comparison for this individuality. But what if it's just really simple? Absolutely claiming your uniqueness and claiming your individuality. Well, I would be better if I could sing like Beyonce. I would feel better if I looked like Twiggy. And I think most of the people on the show tonight know who Twiggy is. I would be happier if I had this happen, or if I was more like this person. It's ludicrous. And what it does, this comparison, anywhere where you have compared yourself to others or to other situations, where you've compared your life situation to someone else's situation, are you willing to let go of that now? Well, I would be happier if I was single. Well, I would be happier if I was married. I mean, all of the comparisons, okay? this is where, in letting go of that, then it helps you to stay present in the moment. And what this does is it takes, when you do this comparison, it takes you out of your full potential. It takes you out of the energy that it takes to own and be your full potential. Because comparison is a form of confirmation bias in order to keep you out of your potential. Well, and it can go any number of directions with this. So comparison brings inferiority, superiority, and when you let go of the comparison, then that inferiority or that superiority cancels out. There you are. You're simply here, and you have more power to heal whatever actually needs to be healed, which is really stepping into your full potential. That's the whole point behind this. Everyone is needed. What's more important? A blade of grass or a bright star? I don't know. They're both needed equally. All is needed. Everything fits together. Be more of who you are. Also, I want to mention this. Anywhere where you are identifying or comparing yourself to your childhood, what happened to you as a child, is the reason I am the way I am now. Comparing your childhood to adulthood. Maybe you got more attention when you were sick, and so there's that pattern, again, in that area of the brain that is the unconscious, where you could be still getting, let's say, sick, or you were raised in a household of a lot of drama. And so you just kind of carried over, unconsciously creating drama after drama after drama. And that's a form of this comparison. So how you used to be, or how things used to be, whether they were good or whether they were bad. They're not like that now. They could be better because of what was happening back then. I should have, coulda, woulda. Oh my God. Can you feel the heaviness of that? So this incense is about helping you release that. And honor where you are at now, free of comparing yourself to anything or anyone throughout all time and eternity. Okay. We have Marilyn Pitts on first. Okay, here we go, Marilyn. I love this card. This is the card of possibilities. When the eagle leaves its nest, it does not have a grocery list. I'm going to get 5 rabbits and 3 mice and about 100 insects today. It just simply soars. Excuse me. So, anywhere, Marilyn, that you have limited yourself as to the possibilities, are you willing to let go of that? When you go shopping, let's say for clothes, kind of have in mind what you're looking for, but you're open. That's why you go shopping, because you stay open to all of the possibilities, all the variations, all of the potential. And anywhere where you have taken on the derogatory remarks of others to make you feel less than because they were in this comparison conundrum. They were really, in order to make themselves feel superior, they had to make others, or try to make others feel inferior. Anywhere where that's been the case, that's clearing for you now. And it opens you up to these other possibilities. So when something appears to you, do your best to say yes and then figure out how to do it later. Like, for instance, that article that you and Larry did was an incredible article. And it's going to affect and help other people. It's going to literally save lives because of what you did in order to save Larry. But you didn't really see that coming. You didn't see that coming in June or May of last year. And then when it happened, you just went right into it. And then from that, it not only saved Larry, but the article was written and it was very real. In Maryland, I don't remember what magazine it was published in, but they had great pictures of you, and anywhere where you were like self-critical of your pictures, see, that's the comparison. What were you comparing that to? It's just you. And the more that you accept who you are, more people sense that. And they're more likely and more willing to then accept who they are. And be open to these possibilities. And hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people, read that article. And this is a way of you even helping other people paying it forward. So it's very powerful. And so I'm talking to everybody at the show tonight is, what am I not seeing here? What did I initially see that attracted me to this? And then maybe back away and go, wait a minute. Let this thing structure, because there's something I initially saw in this. There's something to it. Trust your gut. That is a huge part of this possibility. Trust your gut. And know that it's going to all somehow work out. But sometimes it's a mystery. When you go shopping, you go looking. And the universe opens up these possibilities for you. Okay, Diney. Giving is a beautiful thing. Overgiving is not such a beautiful thing. So the like the ascetic priests, the ones that have the leather ropes and whips, and they whip and beat themselves and beat themselves and beat themselves. because of a vow or whatever to a deity, that's an example of major overgiving. So it's good to share, but it's not good to overshare. And there are things sometimes even on the show I don't say to each of you over the show because I want to be free of oversharing information. But if there's something that needs to be said, then I usually call you or you reach out to me, and I know pretty much every one of you has. This is oversharing, especially when people are not ready for it. For instance, if they have a mistrust or a distrust of other people, and someone is constantly sharing with them, it blows their circuits. Like it literally blows their circuits, because they're constantly thinking, well, what do they want in return? There's no way I can no. It's like chasing a lost dog rather than allowing the dog to come to you. Sometimes if people have chased a lost dog, it actually runs into the street and gets killed. So what I'm saying here is bring your energy back in. I'm always and forever free of the need to overshare. And anywhere where you got were taught that being overly generous gave you more love and attention, are you willing to let go of that right now? And we both know where that came from. And letting go of the need for appearances. Oh, you guys are getting really deep in this stuff tonight. This is really good stuff. This is really really great information. So I'll be very blunt here. Diane's my sister, and our mother was very overgiving. And appearances were everything to her. Even though, as she would say, she didn't have a pot to piss in. Because she didn't even have, there wasn't very much internal, growing up with her, internal self-worth. So that you can pass on. This is why this show is so important, I think, to all of us, is because, especially this message, is to let go of comparing yourself, especially like when it comes to religion or devoutness to God, or jumping through the hoops. Oh my God, Barnum and Bailey probably would have needed to pay me over $500,000 a year for the hoops that I learned to jump through. I could jump through hoops of fire. I could swim through hoops under 10,000 feet of water. I could do it all. I became the elite of the elite in this religion that I was in. And one day I just woke up and go, what am I doing? And I absolutely left the religion. I just left it all. So this is about, are you willing to let go of the need to overshare for fear of being looked down upon or compared to by others that have this comparison behavior? Am I making sense?
You are.
Okay. I hope that made sense. Let me know. Okay. All right, John. Here we go. Oh wow, that card came out quick. So let me know. I'm sorry, I just shut my phone off. So this is called conditioning. So there's some soaps I can't use. There's some conditioners, shampoo and conditioners I don't use, I can't use because they're irritating. They're they're itchy. They actually cause dandruff. It's very annoying. And John, you're way more sensitive than you know. So, especially if you're a lion, you can really get annoyed by a lot of sheep. When you look at this picture, this is the lion who thinks he's a sheep because he was raised with a sheep. But in this case, this is remember when they used to let you smoke in bars? So you go in for a drink or you go in for a bite to eat, one of these grills where you, and then you'd come home and somebody would go, "Were you smoking?" Because you could smell that cigarette, right? This is this is the same with energy. When you get around people that have something on them, you may not notice it at the time, but then you can become conditioned to it, like you would at a bar, right? After a while, you have a couple of drinks, you have something to eat, you're kind of enjoying the company, and you don't even think about the smell. And when you get in your car, you don't necessarily smell it, but other people smell it. My point of telling you this is take a look every day who you've talked to and who you've been around. So at my job, I'm on the phone all day. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone that is way off kilter and on drugs or whatever, I hang up and I go outside. I literally hug a tree. I'll go out and clear, 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 clear. So if you're in a work environment or you have even people come to your house, take a look at that. Take a look at what is, because you're way more sensitive to energy than you are consciously aware. So this is about me telling you how when you feel off, then where is that coming from? Just simply ask, universe, show me where this is coming from, or who this is coming from, or what smoky filled bar did I just walk through? Right? It's like that kind of an energy. So I brought you over that sage. Use that because sometimes even when we go into these places, we're not really even aware that sometimes these energies can follow us home. So do some saging. It's good stuff. All right, my dear Sonia, here we go. So when you get pulled over by a policeman, a lot of times it's because we're not even aware that we're speeding. This is taking your foot off the gas, Sonia. Anywhere where you've been forcing things or trying to make them happen, trying to make them faster, better, happen now. Nothing changes by you worrying or being anxious. It doesn't make things go faster. It doesn't make things go slower. It doesn't make things better. Worrying and anxiety are a complete waste of spiritual energy. It causes nothing to happen. So this is the message of it. Hey, it's all going to work out. Take your foot off the gas because that pressure can cause a little ankle problem. Right? And it can cause your body just to literally tense up. So please go do some yoga, do some stretching, go do Tai Chi, this is moving the energy away. And anywhere where you've learned that doing, that you have to do, where doing maybe work for someone else that you have been around, that doesn't work for you. You are a doer, but there's got to be some downtime. And it gives you a moment to release any of the anger. It's like this force, it can draw, it's like a comet. The gravity of the comet, as it's moving, this begins to pull in other particles, other pieces, other rocks, other stuff because of its movement. But when you slow down, that intensity, that anger, that energy from other people, this is so similar to John's card, that energy from other people then dissipates because it has nothing to follow, it has nothing to pull it along. Yeah, this is like Hawaii. This is like taking a break in Hawaii. Okay? All right, my dear Edna. Okay. So they're showing me you're standing on a street corner And this guy pulls up and he goes, "Hey, baby, want to ride?" You're like, "Get out of here." Because you're waiting for your friend. But then your friend pulls up and you get in and you go. There's always going, well, I'm not going to say all that, but there are people out there that are like, "Hey, baby, you want to come for a ride?" Or, and then there are really good people that you go take trips together, go do things together. This is when you sleep at night, set your intention to only allow your friendly angels, your guides, the people that know you, or the angels, whatever you want to call them, these energies that are for your best and highest, to come in. So again, change the salt out under your bed, if at all possible. Okay? And set your intention. And I'm going to talk to everybody about this, because every one of you, like I'm looking at all of you here on the show, there's not one of you that may have a car pull up and go, "Hey, baby, you want to ride?" In the spiritual realm. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is like there are, "Hey, little girl, want a piece of candy?" There are energies that are like that. And this is the traveling card, but it's like choosing who you travel with, especially at night. I'm a big advocate, a big believer that we do travel at night. There are areas of thought and belief of these different sections that we can travel to, different things that we learn, that we're being taught, but only go with the higher and better energies that are best for yourself. Okay. Hey, Lindsay. All right. So, I don't know if you were on the beginning of the show, Lindsay, and maybe you want to rewind it, because we were talking a little bit about being incomparably unique and not comparing what happened to us in the past to where we're at now. It can be used as a point of reference, but not clinging to the past. So a lot of people talk about, and I've even talked to, you've heard me on the show talk about people's literal past lives, 200, 300, 1,000 years ago. I'm not talking about that. This card is talking about this life and maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And that's all clearing. There's no, your attachment to any stories, believe me, I had 10 volumes of War and Peace of the stories that I was attached to. Anyway. This is, I'll give you an example. My parents, they collected National Geographics, and literally, I don't know when National Geographic came out, but they had like every moldy 30, 40-year-old copy of National Geographic that you could imagine, hundreds and hundreds of copies. And they were just moldy smelling. You know how mold, this is, and we, ended up throwing them away, burning them, getting rid of them. This is kind of losing those things that you'll never, it's when you squeeze a lemon, you throw the lemon away. You don't keep it hoping, oh my God, there's got to be at least 2 more drops in here. You're done with the lemon. You're done with the stories. And this is a whole new because what happened is, oh, here it is. 2 cards fell out for you, Lindsay. This is the flowering card. So this isn't card. These card. Thank you for being here and pulling these cards for yourself. But it's actually, when you think about for the whole group and what we're talking about, moving from those old stories, those old National Geographics, because you don't really need them anymore. You've got your cell phone and you can Google anything and pull up fabulous pictures of the most remote places on Earth. So this is you flowering. Oh, flowering. And using the manure that you've been through to flower. I love it. And what a great lesson for all of us to stop comparing, trying to make sense of hooking onto the past as to why why we believe what we believe now, and letting all of that go and just going, oh, man, that's a burden off my back. Okay. Lindsay says, oh, my grandparents did too. They had huge bookshelves of them. Okay. Luckily, we went through them before throwing them out. My grandma stashed money in them. Oh, my God. I'm glad you went through them too. So that's really a great comparison, Lindsay, because there is value there. You can, before you throw it out, oh, look, I found a $10 bill, right? I found a silver coin. There is value, but look at the value rather than the mold. I love it. What a great analogy. It's so fun. Okay, Austin, here we go. Okay. Inner use your inside voice, Austin. When energy is up, you can really, well, when energy's up, people can get really loud because they're trying to make a point. Because something is threatened, or they perceive something is threatened, and so they get like a lion, or you know those birds, or pufferfish, right? If they feel threatened, poof, they'll puff up. This is continually using your inner voice rather than your outside shouty voice. Because when you're using your outside shouty voice, know that something is triggered within you, and there's like a defense mechanism, and appropriately so. Whenever that defense mechanism happened years ago, it was appropriate. So it's not about making you wrong or bad, because we've all been through this. This is you coming more in tune with your inner voice and what works for you, rather than shouting at other people what doesn't work for you, or what you perceive as other people putting on you. You're becoming more calm and quiet and can walk away without any adverse what's the word? Any adverse, like locking up reaction. What's my inner voice telling me? That's a great mantra for all of us. What's my inner voice telling me? What's my inner voice telling me? And sometimes you have to wait. I'm very verbose. Other people are not. When you ask them a question, sometimes they have to think about it, and it takes time to be able to answer them, right? Give that same blessing, that same amount of time to your inner voice. What's my inner voice telling me? Okay, Jared. I saw you texted me something, but I didn't read it. Maybe I will now, Jared. Okay. This is Success. That's the way you spell success. Oh, you sent me a video. I'll watch that later. Thank you. Okay. Okay, this is a great card, Jared. I've never seen this before in this card. So I want to thank you, your higher self, for pulling this card, and whatever guides or angels are giving this message. It's phenomenal. So, success. Why isn't this is a ticker tape parade? This is celebration, and it means absolute success. But why is he riding a tiger rather than a horse? Oh my God. What if that tiger turns on him? It's going to really mess him up. When's the next shoe going to fall? This is absolutely honoring the little successes in any way, shape, or form, right? Without fear of the tiger turning and devouring it or ruining it or making a bloody mess. So this is riding the ticker tape parade. This is success without the tiger. Or without it's success in a very unique way. So I'm gonna tell you, every one of you on the show here tonight, this is your success in a very unique way. Because I've actually never seen a ticker tape parade with somebody riding a tiger. It's very unusual, right? And any projections of anyone saying to you, oh, hey, Jared, yes, it's going to be successful. Why are you riding a tiger? You know, that thing's going to turn on you. This can go wrong here. This could go really wrong. Are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate any of those? They're like curses. They're like projections. It's breaking the rules. It's literally breaking the rules. Whew, that was a good one. And it's okay to break the rules. The self-imposed rules that were imposed on you. Okay. All right, Kat. So anywhere. Oh, so Kat, you've had a few children. And I'm going to ask men and women on the show tonight. Do you call a pregnant woman fat? No. They're pregnant. And people that do that are really, really lacking a lot of nerve connections in the brain. They're several bricks short of a full load. So this kind of goes along with Jared's card about being completely non-critical of yourself, especially now because you're pregnant, you're giving birth to something brand new, something that's actually never been done before. And can you be free of anywhere you're thinking that this has already been done? You're doing something completely unique. So I mentioned this on the show last night. I'm watching the on Netflix, Alexander, The Making of a God. This is a great, great program because it's a history, it's historical, it's a documentary, but it's also, they act it out. So you can actually kind of imagine how it must have been for him. But for instance, like Alexander did things, and I'm not going to go into explaining the whole thing, but Darius, the king of Persia, Persia was huge. It could include Russia, China, Asia, and Greece was just a little tiny. Macedonia was just tiny. And Persia had hundreds of thousands and thousands of soldiers. Greece had maybe 40,000. So Alexander was called crazy, like nuts, or by his generals, or by the way he did things. But he was always guided and directed, and that's why he became Alexander the Great at a very young age. Also, there was no judgment. He had a male partner, and he had several women. He actually had more than one male partner, but he also had at least 3 women that he was with as well. Because the Greeks didn't, there was no word for gay, there was no word for homosexual, there was no word. It was just love. It was simply just love. So this is you moving into a whole new arena and being able to look at things differently, but be really patient with yourself. You're doing fantastic. Okay. Lana. Hey, Lanny. I'm not quite sure what this is, but I know there's a child around you, Lana. And it's in the spirit realm. It feels like a I'm not sure why this is relevant, but maybe you know why it's relevant. It feels like a brother or sister that maybe, I don't know if Aunt Nona miscarried or lost children, but it feels like that. Um, they're telling me to tell you that you were the one that needed to come through. You were the one that overcame tremendous obstacles, and they've really helped you along the way. And now they're, for some reason, they're stepping up. They're stepping up to help you, or making you known, or making it known they've been a little bit of your it almost feels like you were twin souls in another life, and they've been, it's a lot where your intuition is, your knowingness, because I see them like whispering in your ear. You have this relationship with this child, and I don't know what it is, but it's very unusual. I've not really seen it like this before. And it's definitely been and is one of your major angels or spirit guides. And because they're going, hey, I helped with that. You know, it's like, remember those commercials about shake and bake, and the mother's making the she's putting the chicken in the bag, and then she hands the bag to the child, and the child goes, she's shaking the chicken, and the announcer says, it's shake and bake, and the child goes, and I helped. That's what this child is doing. They're going, and I helped Lana. It's like it's like a direct line to spirit for you. It's where a lot of your knowingness has come from. It's really interesting. I've never ever not really seen this before. Okay, Heather Sherman Orlando. Thanks for being here, Heather. Okay. So Heather, you know, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. But what they're doing for you, what you're expected to do in return is 10 times more or 100 times more. It's like, yeah, you know, I'll get you this credit card for $2,500, and then it's 40% interest. It's like you end up doing on the right on the surface, right on the, it looks like, oh well, this is not so bad. It's okay. Take your time with this, because it's someone or something in your field that is wanting a lot more from you, and it's really important to cut those ties, to cut that energy off of that person that is taking way more from you. It's being completely free of attracting people that view you as less than in any way, shape, or form because it makes them feel superior. And they're lacking so if two countries are going to go to war, the smaller country is going to go to the bigger countries to get allies because they don't have a very big army. Follow me? So they need these allies. And this is a great lesson for every one of us. So there are people out there that need allies. They need reinforcement for their beliefs. And so by appearance, they look really, really strong, but naturally, they're really weak because they've made these allies. This is you walking away from that. You're like, you're done. You're done with that. Okay, and then we've got Marilyn and Abby.
Yeah, Marilyn and Abby.
Okay. Marilyn, spend the whole day just playing. When was the last time you just felt playing? Just play. When the whole day felt like play. You know what? This is what you're moving into. And so let being sure to let go of any wrongness about being playful or feeling like you're playing or just even playing. Be free of that identity of doing. This is moving into play. What is playful for me now? That's a great question. What's going to feel like play to me? So I want to ask everybody on the show, what feels like play to me? Let's do something fun. What feels like fun to me? What a great way to live your life. Okay, there's the mantra for the show tonight. Good night, everybody. Oh. I'm getting to you, Abby. Do you understand? So, what feels like fun? Well, you should be, hey. Anywhere where you were having fun and you were shut down by not doing what you should be doing or had to do according to someone else, are you willing to let that go and just move into play? It's safe and okay. It's safe and okay for me to have fun now. It's safe and okay for me to have fun now. Wow. That is awesome. What a great message for every one of us. So, Abby, what feels like fun now? What is abundance to me? What is that? What does that feel like? What does abundance feel like? Focus on the feeling rather than how it's going to come about. Because what else could this lead to? When I started my readings, I didn't know I would be doing this on YouTube. I didn't even know there was a twitch.tv. I didn't know that there was, at the time, there really wasn't YouTube or Facebook. When I started this years ago, I couldn't see it. Or going to this convention this coming next weekend, right? I didn't even know that existed, and it didn't. this is where what's abundance? What is abundance? And just that mantra, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant. Yeah. So we'll do a show Wednesday night, and then we're leaving for California Thursday morning to go to the Conscious Life Expo. So our show next Sunday and Monday, I'll just remind you all, we'll be not doing it, but we'll make up for it Wednesday and then the following Sunday and Monday. So by pulling a few extra cards for you, or extending the messages a little bit more. Do you have anything else to add?
Not tonight.
Not tonight? Okay. So any feedback, anything that you... how about the Ministry of Source?
You've been on before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You just said blessings and the card resonates.
Thank you so much for all of you being here. I will see you Wednesday night. Love you all.